Hello, everyone. This is Erinn Morgan. I am the editor-in-chief of Eye Care Business Magazine, and I am excited to be here today with Alessandro Baronti, the president and CEO of Rigo REM. Welcome, Alessandro, and thank you so much for joining us today for this discussion about COVID and the pandemic and its effects on ECPs and kind of what Rigo REM has been doing. I know you have a lot of great resources to share to help ECPs.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I love your work, and I feel honored to be part of your series. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and we love working with you and the whole team there at Rigo REM. So very valuable information for our readers too, who are looking kind of today for every advantage or way to kind of boost their business and build back, because obviously we've seen the decline in sales and in exams and product sales over the course of the COVID pandemic. And we've been tracking those numbers on Eye Care Business. It's our Optometric business tracker. So every week we track the recovery and the sales and exams numbers for ECPs across the country. So we're seeing a nice uptick now, but it's still, it was a tough year for everyone. So can you just please tell us, to start off with, about the past few months during the coronavirus pandemic at Rigo REM? Like, how has Rigo REM kind of, been faring? What's the timeline of closing and reopening in Italy and in the US? And I see you look like maybe you're in your office there in California. Yes. So are you folks now working back working in the office? Has business kind of returned to the new normal for you folks there?
Well, believe it or not, I never left my office. Well, I left at the end of the day to go home, but every single day throughout the entire period, since March, and with all of this craziness, I always was in the office every single day to support my employee. It's been a journey, Aaron, and whoever thought we learn so much, but. If we close our eyes and we go back to March, I think about Italy first, because Italy was impacted before us, about 30 days before us. As you remember, Italy went into Europe, and Italy in particular, because Italy was one of the countries that it was hit the most, and that's where the headquarters of our company is. They went into shutdown in February, and at one point, we almost thought, well, maybe we're not going to be impacted as much, just to find out virtually a couple of weeks later that, oh my gosh, we're not really immune to this. And as a matter of fact, we're probably even more subjected than other countries based on the numbers. And, so by March 17, I remember the phone call of my HR director. I was in my office in a meeting. I got a phone call and I said, Alessandro, it's urgent. I just got a notification from the state of California that we have to close our company before midnight. And I was like, wow, and so we really started to really look into it, and we started to really dig into the qualification for essential business, and thank God we qualify for an essential business, because I really wanted to keep service our optical community, so I was able to keep the company open, and of course, everybody that had the capability to work from home, we put in a policy in place for everybody to really starting to work from home right away, and providing them the proper equipment to be able to have remote access to our system. And when you do that, you take all kinds of risk, because we're hearing about a company being hacked all the time now. That's another problem. But we took that risk, and on the top of that, we kept essential people in shift to kind of protect exposure, minimize exposure. We started to implement all of the necessary safety precaution, and that was quite of interesting, and everybody was fully active full-time, even though I want to be honest with you, we really didn't need people to work full-time because there was not much to do, because business started to really came to a stall, and it came really to a stall. On April 13, we had to make the tough decision to really follow our company and move into a work sharing plan. And based on the function in the department, we have people working 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and 1 day a week. I think it's also important for me to make a statement about our sales force. Our sales force, they're independent contractor, and there was a lot of a question mark about how an independent contractor would be taken care throughout these times. And we made an effort to support our sales force throughout the entire shutdown. There was a huge cost for the company because there was no business to be done. I really want you to imagine, as we all went through the same, but imagine that the business comes to a stall, but everything else keeps going. Expenses keeps going,
Sure.
and we never got a release on the rent of our building, and we never get a release on a financial loan because our company is classified as a foreign entity with more than 1,000 employees, so we didn't qualify for the government assistance loan. And on the top of that, keeping the company open to support essential business, we had a lot of fixed costs to be able to support our community with the mask, with the sanitizer, and with gloves, and then imagine now you're getting phone calls about suppliers demanding payments, which you have to honor, right?
Yeah.
You have phone calls about customers needing emergency RX frame for their patient, and you have to have people to be able to process that, and then you have people that they cannot come to work because all of a sudden they cannot come to work, or they have an emergency at home because somebody is tested positive at home, so you have to quarantine them. So all kinds of logistical issue. Then you got another phone call from another customer that is canceling a PO because all of this going on. So we're counting on product to be shipped that we have to pay for it, and the customer is canceling. And of course, you have to say yes. You cannot say no because we are in this together, right?
Absolutely.
And customers wanting to return product, and you try to do the best that you can to help everybody. And on the top of that, all of this anxiety, right, about what is going to happen, are we going to get out of this, and people freaking out, people, different type of mindset throughout all of this. Luckily enough, Italy started to get out of this by the middle of May. They started to see some positive sign. For us, it was towards the end of May,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say June was the first beacon of light that we saw, and business was up to 75% of normal. So I was actually, honestly, I was forecasting 25-30%, to be honest with you. So
Yes.
we did 75%. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And but in a way, I kind of predicted this into my previous interview that this was going to happen. And in July, my God, thank God, the business was up 18.1% for us compared to 2019. Now, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this at all.
So
And then
I'll just add to that it really aligns with the numbers that we've been watching and seeing, from our ECP tracking. So the business dropped off in April about 95% across the country. So that makes a lot of sense. And then we saw a huge uptick in June and July when people started to reopen, and we're seeing a lot of that from pent-up demand from people who had been, home in March and April and May, weren't able to get their products or their eye exams, and then people kind of burst back out, and we were seeing too that it was really about huge, much higher capture rates for the ECPs because people didn't want to come back. They wanted to go in, get everything they needed, and leave, and there wasn't really a price point kind of concern. We thought we might see average price point plummet, but it was quite the opposite. We were seeing people invest in quality. So yes, so just sorry to interrupt you, but it makes sense with the way that the market and the ECPs were recovering, and we're still seeing that nice recovery from even close to numbers from last year now.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, imagine millions and millions of Americans with vision benefit that all of a sudden are coming to a stall, and now all of a sudden the gate is opening again, and these benefits are ready to be used. So, I heard stories of practices getting overwhelmed that they could not even see all of the patients that they wanted to come in. Doctors having eye exam in June already booked until the end of August. These are the stories that we heard. But the trend kept going, and July great. August we experienced a 20% growth. So it's gonna be a journey of recovery, because between I have to tell you, between March, April, and May, I would say the second part of March, April, and until we really started to see businesses only coming back at the end of May, but we lost millions of business that is gone, and we can slowly recuperate as we go. But whatever is lost, and we can think about how well we can do in the future. And unfortunately, as a consequence of that, we our furlough plan took place throughout the blackout period, but also we kept people on furlough until the end of August, slowly coming back to work, increasing the working days from June to July and then into August. And then September 1st, I'm proud to say that we went back to full time. Myself and my executive vice president, we led by example. And we took the same hit like everybody else, and we still, the two of us, were still on a reduced salary until the end of the year to support our company and leading by example. We felt that is the right thing to do. We asked to our people to make a sacrifice, and people got supported by the government, and it was a good thing. The government really stepped up, and some people in unemployment, we know, made more money even to be unemployed. And that was one of the issues that for some people, even to wanting to come back to work, that was another issue that we had to deal with. Sure. But we are looking at it today with a different eye, because it's kind of, I cannot say that this is behind us, but on a business standpoint, we are in a better place today than what we really thought. And I know I'm speaking not only for me as a company, but I'm speaking for a lot of company in the optical industry. Yes,
no doubt. It's wonderful to hear how you've all kind of worked through it and together as a family, as a company. And that seems like that's been, kind of a Rigo and Rigo REM's real focus has been on the family of the company and the family of the industry. I just want to say something to our viewers before we head into the next question I have for you, Alessandro. And folks, thank you so much for joining us here today. And I see a lot of folks out there, so please tell us if you would like, type into the comment bar in Facebook or in YouTube, and let us know what your name is or what your practice name is, where you're from, what your city is and state. So please share with us. We love to know who's here, and we love to kind of give a shout out to the folks who are joining us. And if you do have questions for Alessandro along the way, please feel free to type those into the comment bars as well, and we will get to them as we move through the topics here. So Alessandro, how, I know that you folks have done a lot at Rigo REM to help ECPs navigate through this incredibly challenging time period. What are some of the key products that you've launched and the programs and offerings that are in place from Rigo REM?
Thank you. That's a great question. Well, first of all, in the first phase of the pandemic, we really shifted our focus completely. It was not about sales anymore. Sales didn't matter. It was all about doing the right thing for the optical industry, to really be able to try in our little, to be able to do the best that we could to support. And so, the beginning, we shifted from a sales approach to a support approach. So for us, it was all about distributing essential safety material. We donated thousands of masks, both to the optical community and also to our local community. A couple of local hospitals that they really needed, along with gloves and sanitizer. And we supply all of our sales rep with equipment for themselves and for equipment to give to customers as soon as they could actually meet with customers. We really focus on education and training, and formation training for our sales consultant to prepare them for the day of really officially going back to work, and an essential training for our customers. We also focus on creating very valuable business collaboration to support independent eye care professional with tangible business solution, with no financial interest for us, but with the sole intent of helping them in their business. And in a moment of stall, I think it's an opportunity for a business owner to really analyze their business, think about what is working and what is not working, and prepare to go back to the business. So we felt an important responsibility. We also focus on creating an incredible resource center, which I would love the opportunity to demo to you during this moment that we have together. And I was on the phone with Dr. Howard Purcell, which is it really opened up my eyes. Invited me to an interview event, and we spoke about HR support, and I realized that when he asked me that most independent eye care professionals don't have an HR department. So we really made an effort to create a full 360-degree HR support for our customers, and also an HR hotline. And today we have incredible resources available to our customers. Everything is available in our resource center. I'll show it to you in a second. And it is free information. And if our customers have any question, they can virtually email our HR director, and he's actually responding in 24 hours, and they can leverage on that. Now, in the second phase of reopening, as we really started to go back to business, I would probably say by the middle of June, going into July, we really focus on bringing tangible product offering to our customers, because everybody was and still is starving for a profitability offering, right? Especially in a moment where the majority of the patients are coming back to utilize their benefit. There is even more of a need to be profitable in a visual managed care environment, because we know that visual managed care is great because it's bringing patient into the door, but it's eroding 40% of the profit, right? So our mission was, how can we bring that 40% margin back to our customers? So it was all about that, along with the introduction of a tangible solution. I believe we were one of the first companies that introduced into the market the UV light sanitizer, and we gave away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of UV sanitizer in the last few months. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, along with face shield, we thousands and thousands of face shield that we're distributing to our customers, and we're giving them to them as a free incentive, for doing business with us. That they're linked to specific offering that we put together.
We have your UV sanitizer. We photographed it in a kind of a feature spread that we did in the magazine on the optician's pandemic arsenal that Sheena Taft pulled together for us. So we have it in this issue. The issue just went live today. So if anyone would like to see it, it's on eyecarebusiness.com right now. and it's a nice big spread in the magazine, and the UV sanitizer looks fantastic. Now, I know a lot of the ECPs are using it for not only frames, but also for masks and other things.
Also medical equipment for the doctor in the medical lane. And yeah, it's a safe way to sanitize a product. It doesn't damage the product because the intensity of the light is set into a safety range, and they're great. Now we went into heavy back orders because everybody wanted them, but we have a lot of now it's becoming a regular shipment for us. So we're getting hundreds every 2 or 3 weeks. So we are. I almost feel we're in the UV sanitizer business.
Hey, it's a good business to be in.
We don't sell them. We don't sell them. I never wanted to make profit on something that is designed to be something to be able to help. It was never my intent to take advantage of that. You know, I remember during the pandemic, I was seeing people on the corner of the street selling sanitizer and masks, and I always felt that these people should be arrested, you know, because it's not ethical to do that. For us, it was always either an incentive or a gift, you know. So we decided to give this as an incentive. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
In terms of brands, you asked me about the brands, right? There is so much going on with that. You know, we took the time during, we had a lot of time on hand, right? Because now all of a sudden there is no business, so let's do something productive. So we took it as an opportunity to go through the renewal process of all of the license that needed to go through the stages. So we renew Lucky, we renew Jones, and then we really wrap up all of the different projects. So we sign our licensing agreement with Tumi, and I'm happy to say that we're going to launch Tumi. Actually, we're going to introduce the collection at Vision Expo East in May. So we're very excited about that. And then you probably heard just last week we signed our licensing agreement with Philip Lane, and so we're very, very excited about that. Now imagine a fusion of Dita Eyewear, Casal Eyewear, and Versace, where these three concepts combined together, and something amazing and different and unique is created. You know, so we're very, very excited about Philip Lane, and is an amazing guy.
Alessandro.
Huh?
When is the plan for that collection to launch?
We're planning to launch Philip Lane at Vision Expo West in Las Vegas in September of 2021. Philip Lane is heavily involved in the business. I sent him a message on Instagram. He responded me after 3 minutes, and never experienced that. And he told us that he wants to do a big party. He's building a mansion in Bel Air. I don't know if you saw that. If you Google that, it's remarkable. He's building a chateau in Bel Air, and just the guest house of the chateau is impressive. Now, if you look at the chateau, it's like mind-boggling, right? And he wants to do a party over there. So I am looking forward to put something together. Finger crossed. Sounds
like a fun time.
and then we have, believe it or not, we have 2 more brands that we're going to launch in. So in 2021, the Rigo is going to launch 4 new brands, and I cannot talk about the other 2 brands because I'm under, I'm limited to what I can say. But let me tell you, we're very excited about 2021, and
that's pretty amazing. And in this time, and I think it's a wonderful thing for the eye care professionals to have new things to talk about, new products to talk about, and things that are going to excite the consumer again. And I wanted to ask you on that note. So how are you as a company working with the eye care professionals in new ways for the presentation and sales of eyewear products? You talked a little bit about your sales representatives, what's happening there. What do your clients, what do your eye care professional customers tell you that they want today? Do they want the sales reps coming into the practice to show the product? Do they want everything virtually? And how are you addressing that?
It's very situational, Aaron. It depends on the customer, depends on the area. Some states are in different situation than others, and I think we have to be ready to keep this open approach, because we don't know what is going to happen, and we don't know if we in some areas we're going to have to go into some restriction than others. So we have to be flexible. I would probably say that our approach leverage on three pillars: innovation, training, and education. And I would like to talk to you about that. And we in our e-learning module, we have over 150 hours of training for our business consultant. And throughout the entire lockdown, we actually have 4 trainings a week, and we ask to our business professional to really invest the time, since we pay them for it, invest the time to really study and personally develop, but to be ready to bring valuable information to the customer's business solution. Because a business consultant cannot be a frame flipper. They need to bring business solution to their business partner. And so we really made an investment to create this type of mindset. And we also ask them to be flexible to the needs of the customer, so to ask a question. So in some cases is a face-to-face visit in the practice, following a specific safety procedure. In some cases is a virtual presentation done throughout a Zoom or a team meetings or any of the other virtual tools. I think we're all discovering new ways of communicating these days. Or in some cases, it's a virtual presentation where we actually ship the sample set to a customers, and then we virtually open the sample set remotely and do a product presentation. Also leveraging on a B2B solution, a business-to-business solution. Interestingly enough, what we saw throughout these times, we saw our B2B business increase by 40% compared to 2019. And today, 15% of our business is coming from the B2B. So we're seeing customers wanting to go online and look at product, and they like that type of option. As a matter of fact, I created incredible incentive into the B2B. If you go into our B2B today, you get free shipping, but there is also incentive that it can increase your marginality by 10% on the top of the regular discount by ordering on the B2B. So
that's a fantastic incentive.
Yeah, and so I think it's important to have that flexible approach. I would love if you can try to share the screen. I would love to walk you through some of the things that we're doing on our B2B.
That would be great.
Let me see if I can do this, and let me see. Oops.
And folks, while Alessandro is pulling this up, and I've seen this, it's fantastic information. Please feel free to ask any questions along the way if you have them as we go through this. And some really great resources. The B2B sounds very enticing for eye care professionals, Alessandro, because obviously, most folks will finish the year down a notable amount. Most are telling us probably about 25 to 30% over the year over year. And so that's anything like this is going to be super helpful.
Can you see the screen?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, there is a button over here on the top. If you see my cursor,
yes.
And I'm going to click on it, and it's going to take us into the resource center. This is the tool that we just created to really be able to make a lot of information available to our customers. And if you don't mind, I would like to start by playing a video.
That would be great.
It's very meaningful. So let's watch this video together.
I think you might, if you turn up the volume.
Yeah, I have it.
There we go.
Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it.
Maybe
And
it's there.
yeah, but it's okay because it's anybody can access this, simply by
Oh, so it's not
accessing.
gated. Anyone can go into this?
Yeah, this is open, and just go. Customers can access this by going into the Rigo REM website, which is www.therigorem.com, and
Okay.
then by clicking on this button over here,
Okay.
which is on the top of the first page of the website. So by doing so, they
Great.
will go into the website, and then scrolling down, the first thing is the video. And then there are 6 different tabs which are loaded with incredible information. So solution, communication, education and training, support, and strategy. So I would like to start to give you a very brief overview, but let's start with the solution. In the solution tab, we have our the Rigo REM Advantage program, and then different information to be able to download for our customers, and in reference to specific promotion that we're doing. Like, for example, with Converse, we just created an incredible program to really help our customers to increase profitability in a vision managed care environment. So if I don't download this tool, you can see the Converse, it's a 50% discount line.
Wow.
And on the top of that, customers get free shipping when they order online 3 units or more. If they order 5 units, they get an additional 5%, so it's 55%. If they order 10 units, they're getting 60%
Wow.
discount and free shipping. Now imagine a vision claim where the reimbursement in many cases are based on frame data. So let's take Converse average price point is $64. The $64 becomes, after all of the discounts taking place, it becomes like $20, $27, $28. So there is incredible profit margin for our customers over there.
Definitely.
The protective gear, as we discussed it, you can see the sanitizer, the face shield over here. And then these are our business collaborations. So that's what I was discussing before with you about the fact that we really put an effort in creating a specific program to bring value to our customers, from anagram to digital marketing solution. My Frame Gallery, it's an omni-channel experience, and we have a partnership with ONG to really be able to help customers to improve the look and feel of the practice and the storytelling of the frame. We have a partnership with Shamir about blue coding, and then we are introducing a different program as we go. Then, if we go into the communication tab, and over here there are specific communication guidelines. So we created a pre-letter that our customer can actually use it to send it to their patient during the reopening stage. Specific communication guideline that they can use as an inspiration. Now this is huge, because imagine that just by clicking on this button over here, which I'm gonna do. Now, this is password protected, and my business consultant and my manager can provide this password to all of our customers, but here you go. Now, imagine that now you are in a place where you can download all kinds of digital asset on the spot for you to be used for any purpose related to promoting your business, social media, an advertising ad. So let me give you an example. So let's go into John Barbados, and you can download the logo, you can download the videos, the images, and I mean, this is incredible. You know, I always hear from my customers that it is so hard to get access to digital information. And so I really wanted to make it a point to make this information available to our customer in a very easy way.
That is a huge resource.
Yeah, and then you can see over here different resources that are meaningful to the industry. Now, going back up to the third tab, this is my favorite. You know my passion about education. We have 2 ABO certified online practice management courses that customers can actually take from our site just by clicking on this button. Both of these courses, they qualify for 1 free ABO accreditation. And now this course over here, Creating an Experience, we provided 4,000 CE credit education certification since the course is up, and it's been about a year and a half. This one over here, The Art of Dispensing, is been up for just a few months, and we already provided to independent eye care professional 400 CE credit accreditation. Now, each CE credit has a $20 value. So just to put it in perspective of the effort that we're putting into really helping the ECP community.
Definitely.
If you click here into the library management, and again, password that my business professional can give to our customer, because we don't want to give all of our secrets away to our competition, right? We have incredible training over here, and you can download, you can listen to the training, you can download the PowerPoint, and also you can download all of the different tools to be able to use this training. So the DNA of assortment, of product assortment, creating an experience, analyze, implement, and grow, the art of dispensing, optic retail apocalypse, generational demographic, communicate and connect, the art of selling multiple pairs, and then an additional one that are going to be loaded soon. So a lot of information.
Yes, and excellent education in a time when everyone's kind of looking for, learning and to further their business. So this is a great resource.
Yeah, and under support, I really have to give credit to people that deserve the credit. I have to really give credit to Dr. Howard Purcell on this. He really inspired me to do this. But I want you to see what we have done in terms of HR. All of this information that you're seeing over here are HR resources for our customers to be able to take advantage of. And even to the extent of creating forms for job description, new hire form, application. This is valuable material because, as I said before, most of our customers don't have this type of resource to hire an HR person. And look at all of the information that we, even for Canada, we even put it for Canada.
That's an incredible service for them. And that's fantastic.
So I'm going to go back to the screen so I can see you again. And, let me see, stop sharing.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to walk you through all of this.
That is incredible. I'm so glad to be able to get to see the full scope of it because it's really impressive. It must have been quite an effort to put it all together for the customers and the eye care professionals.
So let me give a shout to our amazing Jessica. And you know Jessica very well. She's absolutely unbelievable. As you know, she's on the board of the OWA as well. And she's a treasure to us. And I also want to give a shout to Mario Lombardo, which is our director of trade marketing. These two individuals did everything that I'm not going to take the credit for anything. The secret of a great leader is to hire the right people. And I have an amazing team, and I am blessed to have an amazing team.
You certainly do, and we know and love your team. So we know how wonderful they are, and we're grateful for them too because they've really been a help for us as well at Eye Care Business. So just kind of looking, and my last two questions for you, Alessandro, and thank you for sharing all those resources. That's really valuable to our viewers. But looking, at the industry as a whole, and looking at the current situation and where we're at and knowing that we're kind of on a road to recovery. But, with your broad view and you have a long experience in the industry, what is your view of how and when the eye care and eyewear market will recover? I mean, will we continue to see, do you believe we'll continue to see, the growth go up and up, each month and things get healthier? How will the future look for our industry going into in 2021?
I'm so glad you asked me this question. And by the way, you always ask amazing questions.
You're too kind.
My answer to you is that we are already recovering. And in many cases, independent eye care professionals around the country are hitting record numbers that they never thought possible. And now, why this is happening? I think it's pretty clear in why this is happening, because we are not a retail industry. We're not retail. And what we actually are, we're part of the health ecosystem. But with that, we have a plus. We are part of the health ecosystem plus more. So imagine a medical industry with a retail component attached to it. So it's an incredible business model, and And this is really the secret of our success. And the other thing is vision managed care. Vision managed care is always being viewed as a threat by optometrists. And as a matter of fact, back in the 80s, it was considered the end of the profession. And optometrists really fought vision managed care at the beginning. It was a bloodshed. I can tell you that because back in the days, I was involved with IMED and in the actual introduction of IMED. And I can tell you that I was part of town hall meeting that if they have tomato, they would throw tomato at us. But vision managed care is a double-edged sword, And what vision managed care does, it brings patients through the door. And what it did throughout these moments, it gave the opportunity to optometrists to really get the benefit of that, to have patients coming through the door. But also, the other problem is it's eroding benefit, it's eroding profit, right? So we have to really be very careful in how to handle vision managed care. But I think we have to give credit to the vision managed care companies out there, to the big ones, and to really be able to bring a patient back, to really be able to keep a benefit going. And we should not take all of these for granted. I know that vision managed care is the big company are taking a lot of bad press lately, and in particular, two of them. I'm not going to mention name, and they have to work into an ethical way. I'm not going to go into details, but there are some things that are happening that they should not be happening. But I'm not going to get vision managed care political at this point.
That's a whole other live stream discussion.
I learned from the debate not to be political. It's a better thing to do. But I can say thank you to Vision Managed Care for really helping to restart the business. Now, on the other side, I think it's important for the practitioners to really be able to be smart right now, because whatever was not working yesterday is definitely not going to work tomorrow. And now this is the time to understand what it needs to be done in a different way. This is the time that people need to understand how to evolve, because of what we went through. I think COVID and the pandemic acted as a booster in a behavioral change, and it accelerated the inevitables, and specific patient consumers behavior got accelerated, probably 5 or 10 years ahead. And we need to react to that in a prompt way. And that's why I created all this collaboration, because in some cases where it was hard to implement, or I want to do it, I don't know how to do it. Well, let me show you how to do it. I want to do it, but it's too expensive. Well, let me show you how I can help you with that, but by making it more affordable. This is not the moment to find excuses anymore. This is a moment to move into action. And our training module that I have on the Resources Center gives all of the indication on the things that should be considered to be implemented to be able to react to this situation that we're going through.
That's amazing. Well, we've seen that, and talked to a lot of the eye care professionals out there, obviously for eye care business, and folks and we've surveyed our readers time and time again throughout this time period, with our COVID-19 surveys, and seeing that, folks, the adoption rate of telemedicine and the, even online ways to sell products online, and kind of will virtual ways to do business are really becoming the new norm now for a lot of eye care professionals. So as you said, it is so critical to take those things that, were maybe you were putting off doing, it wasn't necessary, or didn't seem urgent. Those things are now critical. It's imperative to make those changes to go into the future, because the future is now for sure. So, on that note, Alessandro, with your industry overview as a company, and you're working with a lot of clients and customers and eye care professionals, what are you seeing on your side as some of the really innovative ways that the ECPs are navigating this time successfully in their business and practice?
Well, I think, telemedicine, it's a huge conversation. It's, teleoptometry, and there is a lot of existing tools. A lot of tools are going to be implemented in the very near future to further enhance that. But I think also teleopticianry is going to be a word that we're going to hear in the future, about a way for us to provide that type of service in a remote way. There are plenty of companies that are already on the forefront of that today. We're not going to give them any free advertising today, but there are plenty of companies out there, and I will be more than happy to provide that information if people want to know that. But I'm a big fan of technology, and always been a big fan of technology. And I think what we're going to see in terms of technology and innovation, I think we're going to see the record spending in terms of investment of practitioners in Q3, Q4, and also going in 2001 when it comes to innovation, embracing omni-channel solution, retail experience enhancement. I think we're going to see a record numbers of practitioner remodeling, refreshing their practice. Digital solution implementation. I think we're going to see record number of implementation of that. Digital marketing. I did a collaboration with a company that does digital marketing, and the things that the digital marketing does to be able to drive a patient into your doors, it's unbelievable. And sometimes I hear is too expensive. Well, actually, that product is underpriced, because the value that digital marketing can do is mind-boggling. It's the new form of advertising, and then I also think the upgrade of medical equipment to really be able to wow the patient with something of state of the art. And but I'm also seeing creativity, and I love the creativity of human beings. I see parking lot now being used as a waiting room, and I see patients waiting in their car and being paged when they're ready to be seen by the doctor. I mean, I think it's brilliant, and I see the technicians going into the parking lot and checking in the patient, almost like the old time drive-throughs, and like in the old days in the 60s, right? So in a way, we go back to the past. And in a way, we look at the future. This is a very interesting moment. Yeah,
such a formative time, and that's so interesting. That you say that. I think it's so true, and it's going to be really interesting to see which of the ways that ECPs have pivoted. And I think as a consumer, right? Like, we've all gotten used to having our groceries delivered. We've all gotten used to doing things virtually. You wonder how many of these kind of new protocols are going to stay in place, for good.
Yeah. Another thing that I saw, it's the inevitable. I see, if I have to look at the way that business is going to evolve, I see how different optometric practices are going to start to merge and consolidate together. And I think it's a smart move in where appropriate. And I also see the evolution of business collaboration. I think collaboration is going to be the future of a business entity. And when I say collaboration, it can be medical to medical, retail to retail, or in our case, it's also going to be a combination between medical and retail. We've seen a little bit of that before the pandemic, but I think this is going to be a very strong trend, and that is going to take place in the future.
No doubt. Gosh, well, I can't tell you how much we appreciate all this information. I'm going to give one shout out to a friend that's here, that's kind of popped up here, and a friend of iCare Business too, and one of our Game Changers awardees from last year for iCare Business. And then I know we're running tight on time, but I have one audience question that I want to squeeze in. So welcome to Hannah Cho. She's an optometrist from Southern California with Flow Optometry. She has a couple of locations, and she's just opened a new one. She did a really fun virtual grand opening. And hi, Hannah, and thanks for joining us. And Hannah's a fantastic optometrist out there doing a lot of cool things. And she's been very pivotal in supporting optometrists through the COVID crisis. And she's done a couple of panel discussions and things like that. So thank you for all your work, Hannah, in the industry. So the question, Alessandro, is with your background in education and your passion for education, for ECPs right now, what areas do you think are the most critical to educate yourself in? Where, if you could pick one or two areas of focus for, an optometrist or an optician to educate themselves in right now to help them survive and maybe even thrive in 2021, what would those areas be that you would recommend to start with?
Well, Anna, thank you for the question. I would definitely seek into training that help you to understand how to improve your profitability in your practice. And the other training is to equip your staff in how to position multiple pairs and also how to leverage on trading up in a visual managed care environment. If you do not trade up in a visual managed care environment, you are going to lose 40% of your profitability for every transaction. So it is critical that your staff is completely prepared on how to trade up in a visual managed care environment. We're not talking about overselling over here. We're talking about doing the right thing, which is fulfilling the patient needs based on what it needs to be prescribed and based on what is important to them, providing option to the patient and educating them on what is the right solution to make sure to address their medical needs. And so those will be the two areas that I will focus the most right now.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that. And I think that's a really great area of focus for ECPs to look for, to build their business back. Those are simple ways, but also very effective ways that they can educate themselves on to build their business up for next year. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. I really, truly appreciate, and we're so honored to have you here today to share all this great information and the resources for our readers. So I thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. It was a pleasure to be with you and to spend 30 minutes with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to all our viewers. We really appreciate you tuning in today, and stay tuned for more live streams to come from iCare Business down the road, and keep tuned into our Facebook page for that information. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.